I rode for 18 years racing. Started riding a bike when I was a kid. Started then racing at about 12, and then amateur to start with, and then professional for about 10 years. Rode road races, stage races, one-day races, but also I rode about 34 six-day races on the track. I won a couple of six-day races, quite big ones, and a couple of road races. It was just a very, way to make money as a kid, and you sort of dream about doing something you love. In racing, I've broken left collarbone 4 times, right collarbone twice, ribs, arms, wrist, fingers. I somersaulted over the bike once, and both of those fingers you can see are bent. Hit the road sort of straight down like that. So I've had a fair few injuries, and people do get surprised just how many injuries you can get when you're cycling, but you do. It's just one of those tough sports. It was in Austria, and a few years ago, and I was there for a fun ride with some friends, and I went off on my own, and I was coming down a fairly steep hill with a left-hand turn at the bottom, and as I came around the corner there was a truck reversing across the road, blocking the whole road, and I was going pretty fast, so I went to the left to go try and sneak around it, and there was a low stone wall, and my knee went straight into the wall. I didn't actually come off, I also had to stop, but it was pretty painful at the time. I didn't realise what had happened until that night when I actually rode home from the accident, about 30k, and had to go to hospital that night because it was so painful, and it turned out the kneecap itself was completely broken. I mean, Rhys he's just very caring. This knee for the first 2 weeks. He'd ring me virtually every night just to see how it was. There was no more swelling, the swelling was going down, how was the compacts machine working, and just genuinely interested in my recovery. And I just haven't had anyone who was so attentive. It was almost as if I was his only client. He identifies the problem and takes time to do it. He doesn't rush straight to it, but tests and looks very carefully to really get to where the problem is. And I do give Rhys full credit for the treatment. I mean, he took his time. He said don't rush it. But the other thing about Rhys, which I really enjoy, is that he understands people in sport. And if Rhys tells you not to do something, you know it is serious. He tries to make sure you can keep active as much as you can. The cycling is great. I can hop on the bike after a day's finished ride home, and within 10 or 15 minutes feel quite relaxed.